Well, hello and welcome to today's webinar. And I would like to spend about the next 20 minutes to just go through the details of the SETC, the Self-Employed Tax Credit. And just to introduce myself, my name is Dave Walters. I work with a company called Bottom Line Enhancement Services, and we help businesses and individuals improve their performance, their bottom line, their revenue, their profitability through a variety of different products and services. And the one that we're focusing on today is the Self-Employed Tax Credit. Please feel free to drop me any comments and I'll answer them as we go through the webinar. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me at the end and email me, and I'll be more than happy to get in touch to answer any questions that you may have. So let's start and let's talk about the Self-Employed Tax Credit. What is it and who is it applicable for? Well, first of all, you need to understand this is pretty significant. This is potentially $32,220, which someone who was self-employed during the COVID period and suffered impact from COVID is eligible to claim. And we have until the end of this tax year to submit our claim. So let me just cover some of the key events. If you were self-employed during 2021 and you or your business was impacted by COVID, you are eligible to submit a claim. The company that we work with charge no upfront fees for this. The system that we have, the portal that we have put together for you, gives you a very, very quick reckoning as to your eligibility and the potential size of your claim. And through our banking partner, you can potentially get access to your funds in as little as 15 to 20 business days. So we're seeing on average a claim in the region of about $10,000, but still that's pretty significant. And in today's economic climate, if I could show you how to put $10,000 into your bank account within 15 to 20 business days, I'm pretty sure that's something that you should pay attention to. The other thing to be aware of, there have been a lot of scams. In the past, we had a couple of COVID programs, PPP and the IRC. Both of those, there were some problems with. People had certain complaints. So there is a sense of mistrust in these sorts of programs. And SETC is the third and the final one of the COVID relief programs. But for anybody who thinks, well, this is a scam, I'm not going to get involved, please understand that the company that we've partnered with, Gig Workers, have already returned over 500 million. In fact, $575 million has been returned to American workers through the SETC program that we've administered. So let's go into a bit more detail. And as I said, please feel free to put any questions in the comments and I'll answer them as we go. So what is SETC? Well, it's a tax credit for self-employed individuals who were impacted by what they call qualified COVID-19 disruptions. It's actually released under the authority of the FFCRA, the Family First Corona Response Act. It's part of the American Rescue Plan Act. And the government set aside millions of dollars in tax credits for self-employed individuals like you who were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So very simply, if you were self-employed in 2021 and you were impacted by COVID, and pretty much everybody on the planet was impacted by COVID to some extent, you are eligible to claim. So that's the high level information. So let's go into a bit more detail here. The mission that we have as a team and with our partners is to return $1 billion in tax credits to self-employed American workers before the end of this program. Okay, and this is your money. This is tax credits. This is money that you paid in taxes during that COVID period, and it's now eligible. You are eligible to make an amendment to your 2021 tax claim to get that money back. Okay. Now the issue here is if you don't claim the money, and because it's tied to your 2021 tax return, that claim has to be submitted before the end of the 2024 tax year, which actually finishes on the 18th of April 2025. If you are eligible and you do not submit your claim it's gone. That money goes back into the government, into the general coffers of the government, and the money, potentially 5, 10, 20, even as much as $32,000 that you could have claimed, just goes back into the general government fund. So you lose it forever. So you've got about 5 months to check your eligibility, to see what your claim is, and then submit the claim. And our goal is to make that process as easy and safe and simple as possible for you. And our bigger vision as a team is to get the numbers up to $1 billion. We want to return $1 billion, put $1 billion back into our economy for self-employed workers who were disadvantaged by COVID. Okay. And as I say, you're not taking money from anyone else. This is your money that you've already paid in taxes. It's just money that you didn't know that you're eligible for. So what is the eligibility criteria? There are 4 things that we need to look at. Firstly, you must have been self-employed in 2021 and received either a 1099 or on the tax form what they call Schedule C income. So if you submitted a tax form that had Schedule C income, you are eligible to apply. You must have experienced a qualified COVID-19 disruption. You must have been impacted by COVID. And the way the calculation is done, it works on the number of days that you as an individual or your dependents were impacted. So, for example, if you yourself had to take time off work for testing, or because you actually had COVID, or because you needed time for vaccination, or your place of work was quarantined and you couldn't get into work, you are eligible to claim up to 10 qualifying days of the benefit. Additionally, if you have dependents, and these are legal dependents that would be filed on your tax return as your dependents, you can claim an additional 50 days, up to 50 days, for the time that you were looking after your dependents. So if you had children who couldn't get into preschool or kindergarten, if you had children who were sent home from school because their school was quarantined and shut down, if you had to take time off work to take children for testing, vaccination, treatment, anything that you were doing for your immediate dependent, again, is qualifying time. Now, you must have documentation available to justify your claim, but there's a misunderstanding. You do not need to have a doctor's note to say that you were sick, okay? You need to be able to justify the time. So if you've got timesheets or diaries of that period, that's enough to justify the claim. You do not need a sick note from the doctor, but you do need to have some documentation to justify the number of days that you claim. And then the 4th item, this is truly self-employed income. So if you've set your business up as an S Corp, a C Corp, or you've got any other form of W-2 income, you cannot apply. Now, there is a proviso to that. If you have both W-2 income and 1099 income, you can apply on the 1099 portion of your income, okay? So the whole calculation and the whole payout is based on your self-employed 1099 Schedule C income, okay? So what is the self-employed status? Well, currently in the US, there are around about 35 million self-employed people who are possibly eligible to submit this claim. And this group would include, as we've already mentioned, 1099 contractors, but also sole proprietors, freelancers, anybody who's set their business up as a single member LLC, anybody who is a gig worker. If you have any other form of self-employment arrangement, or if you're in a partnership agreement, you are potentially eligible to qualify under that self-employed status. Okay, and what are the qualifying COVID events that would consider that you have been impacted by COVID-19? Again, so that the definition is you are either directly or indirectly impacted by COVID-19, and this would be for you or a legal dependent. So if you had symptoms related to COVID-19, if you ended up being quarantined for COVID-19, if you had to take time off to become a caregiver for a dependent who was suffering from COVID. If you were told you could not go to your place of work or you could not fulfill your work obligations because of any form of government order, if your child's school or daycare or kindergarten was shut down or quarantined because of COVID, or if there were issues in your business, so for example, supply chain shutdowns, business closures, the inability to get to a job site, all of those would be considered to be impacted by COVID, events that would qualify as being impacted by COVID. And as I said, the calculations are a little bit complicated, but in general terms, you are eligible to claim up to 10 days of impact for your personal impact and up to a further 50 days of impact when you are looking after a dependent. If you and your spouse, if you're reporting that both you and your spouse are self-employed, so you're doing a joint filing, you can claim for both parties. So you can claim for both yourself and your spouse, and that increases your claim potential to as much as $64,400. Okay. And you would have to qualify as about how many days you spent looking after a dependent, how many days your spouse spent looking after the dependent. But very simply, self-employed status and impacted by COVID are the primary qualifying events. So how does the program work? Well, if you've ever had to file a tax amendment or go back and change a tax form, it can be an onerous task. One of the things that we found in the past is people that have tried to submit claims themselves for any of the COVID relief, when they've done it through a manual process, typically 40% of the people that start the claim process do not finish it because it gets too complex. There's too much paperwork involved. It gets confusing. They lose their place. They lose hope. They lose interest. They just don't have time to complete it. So we've created a portal which automates the process as much as is humanly possible for you so that you can get in, get an estimate, submit your claim, get the money within 15 days and be done. Okay. So key features of the program. Once you enter into the portal and submit your information, you get a quick estimate as to what the value of your claim would look like. If you then choose to move ahead with the claim process using our service, you can complete the claim online. You have to upload some transcripts, and that's all done through the portal. And then if you choose the advanced payment option, you can have the funds deposited into your account in as little as 15 days. So it's a very, very fast turnaround. The aim is to get you that money when you need it. And as I said, in today's economy, I think there are very few people who would say, hey, $10,000, $15,000 dropping into my bank account in 15 days doesn't interest me. I think there's very few people that would say, I could really do with $10,000, $15,000, whatever your eligibility is, but dropping into your account in 15, 20 business days. That's a huge win for people, especially at this time of year as we come into the holiday season. We've got Thanksgiving, we've got Christmas ahead of us. Dropping that sort of money into your account is going to be a game changer for most people who are eligible to apply. The other thing we want to do is take away all the risk. There are some services where you have to pay upfront for the application before you know what you're actually eligible for, or before you know what you're going to get back. So all the risk is going on you as the claimant. We've reversed that. So we take all the risk. There is no upfront cost on you to file your claim, and we only get paid once you've got your money guaranteed to be delivered. So we take all the risk. This is completely risk-free for you. All you have to do is visit the portal, enter in the information, do the qualification process, the verification of your identity, and then once that's done, the process goes through. And our goal is to get you the money, if you choose the advance option, within 15 to 20 days. Okay. So based on that, the next thing is we want to be there to help you. Some people get into the process and find that they struggle with answering the questions or getting all the information. So we also have, in partnership with Anchor Accounting Services, we have 4,500 CPAs who are available to you to answer your questions, to help you with the submission process, and to make sure that you are able to maximize the claim of all the money that you are eligible to claim. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, very simple, two-step process. First one is you have to verify your eligibility, and this is simply visit the online tool, answer a few questions, and it will tell you within a matter of minutes whether you are eligible to claim, and it will give you an estimate of what that claim would look like. And then if you choose to continue on to the claim process, it's a clear step-by-step instruction in the submission portal to help you submit your claim effectively and efficiently. And some of the people that we've had, as we said, the maximum possible claim here is $32,200. The most I've seen coming from people I've introduced so far is about $19,500. But again, $19,000 in your bank account in as little as 15 to 20 business days is not to be sniffed at in today's economy. So how do we do it? Well, all you have to do is visit the submission portal and then follow the prompts. So let me just share with you how you can do that. You see the application link there. Just scan that QR code. That will take you straight to the SETC portal. And as we said, go through the qualification process. You have to, once you've identified that you actually are eligible to claim, you have to go through the identity verification, and this is common to everybody. It's part of the anti-money laundering, know your client legislation. It's all done online. You then upload the information that we need. Once you decide to submit, you can choose whether you want the standard payment or the advance payment option. And then once you've done that, you just wait to receive the refund. And as I said, if you go for the advance payment option, you can receive potentially the money in your account in 15 to 20 business days. Now, as I said, we're looking at helping as many people as possible. Our goal is to return $1 billion back to self-employed American workers. And I said, this is your money. It's taxes that you've already paid that we're trying to help you get back. So far, over the last 14 months, we've been able to return over $575 million to self-employed workers. So there's still another $450 million that we want to get distributed back to you. And we have now about 5 months remaining in the program. The program finishes on the 18th of April at the end of the 2024 tax year. So please do not miss out. This is your money. It's there for you to claim. All you have to do is scan the QR code, go to the landing page, do the qualification check. If you're qualified, verify your identity, submit the documentation, and then request the payment option you prefer. And if you go for the advance payment, within 15 to 20 days, the money's there in your account. We couldn't have made it any simpler. And the company that we're working with that's put this whole program together, as I said, they've already returned over $575 million. And this is actually about 80% of the total claims. So if you're looking for a company that really has credibility, the portal, the people who put the portal together have delivered about 80% of the total volume of SETC refunds to American self-employed workers. So these guys that we're working with have got the system that works. They've got the credibility. It's a proven system. The only thing we need to do now is get the word out to people before the opportunity goes away, and help as many people as possible get the money that's due to them. So as I said, very, very simple process. If you have any questions, by all means, drop them in the comments to me and I'll answer them now. Otherwise, I'll give you one more bit of information that may be beneficial to you. And I've just put on the screen my email address. So if you know anybody who was a self-employed worker who you think would be eligible, please do put them in touch with me. As I said, our goal as a team is to return $1 billion of tax credits to eligible self-employed individuals. And we have a very simple, very fast, very safe process, but we still want to try and get another 425 million returned before the end of the tax year. So between now and the 18th of April, 2025, we're looking to help self-employed American workers claim another $425 million in tax credits. And we can't do this without your help. So if you know anybody who is a self-employed worker, who you think would benefit, who would find it advantageous to get $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 into their bank account within the next 15 to 20 days, please share that link with them. And also, if you know anybody who would like to work with me as a referral partner to help share this with the self-employed community, again, just email me using the email that I'm showing on the screen there, and we can talk about how we set up a referral partner arrangement, what the commission structure would look like, and how you can help us to help as many of the 35 million eligible workers submit their claim. So that's everything I had for you today. Again, if you've got any questions for me, by all means, please feel free to send me an email. I'll be happy to converse with you. Most of the information, if not all the information that you need, is actually available on the portal itself. So it's as simple as scan the QR code, hit the landing page, go through the qualification process. If you are qualified, it will tell you how much your tax return should look at. And then if you want to continue with us to submit your claim, you just have to simply verify your identity, upload the documentation, select the method of payment you prefer, and then wait 15 to 20 days to receive your refund. That's it, as simple as that. So please help yourself. This is your money. We want to get it back to you. By the same token, please help us to help others. So if you know any other self-employed workers, please share this with them. I'm sure anybody in your network or community would be extremely pleased if you help them get a quick $10,000 dropped into their account. And if you are in a position where you are connected to a number of self-employed individuals, if you're part of a community, part of an association, and you would like to make this as an offer to the whole of your network or your community, again, please email me, and we can discuss how you can help by becoming a referral partner, and how we can help you with a commission plan and the structure to help as many as possible get the money that's due to them. So we still have $425 million that we're trying to return to the workers, and it's as simple as hit the application page, fill in the form, see what's eligible to you, submit the claim, and wait 15 to 20 days, and then the money comes in. So for everybody that's been on the call today, thank you very much for joining us. If you have any questions and you haven't answered them now, again, please feel very free to email me. I want to make sure that you get all the money that is due to you. And again, I reiterate this. This is your money. It's money that you earned. It's money that you paid in taxes. It's a tax credit that you are eligible for. And if you do not submit your claim before the 18th of April, 2025, that money, your money, just goes straight back into the general government funds and is lost forever to you. So don't let this one go by. It takes 5 minutes to work out how much your claim should be. And then you can very quickly get the process going, and you will be pleasantly surprised, I think, how easy it is to submit a claim and how quickly the claim lands in your account. So I'm Dave Walters. My email is david@steampoweredmarketing.com. And again, please do let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I would love to help you get the maximum tax credit that you're eligible for. Thanks again.